When you start learning to code, the first decision feels critical. What language should you learn? Everyone has an opinion. Python is best for beginners. JavaScript for web. Go for systems. Rust for safety. Pick the wrong one and you're screwed. This debate consumed your first month of learning. Online forums, YouTube videos, career guides, all telling you that your choice matters. You settled on Python. Everyone says it's beginner-friendly, clean syntax, great for data science, perfect entry point. You spent 6 months learning Python. Learned loops, functions, classes, build projects, became competent in Python. You built your identity around Python. You are a Python developer. That's your niche. That's your competitive advantage. Meanwhile, JavaScript developers were learning JavaScript. Go developers were learning Go. Rust developers were learning Rust. Each language had its purpose, its culture, its ecosystem. The choice seemed to determine your entire career path. But that was 2015 thinking. That was when knowing a language well meant you had valuable skills. Then ChatGPT arrived, and language expertise became irrelevant. ChatGPT knows Python. ChatGPT knows JavaScript. ChatGPT knows Go, Rust, C++, Haskell, COBOL, brainfuck. Every language ever created. It learned them all from the same training data. GitHub code. Stack Overflow answers. Open source repositories. 1 billion lines of code in every language. You spent 6 months specializing in Python. ChatGPT learned Python, JavaScript, Go, and 100 other languages in the same training run. You think you're a Python expert. ChatGPT is an expert in 10,000 programming languages. Someone asked you to write JavaScript. You pause. You spent 6 months on Python. JavaScript is different. You need time to learn it. ChatGPT writes JavaScript in seconds. Perfect syntax. Best practices. Production-ready code. ChatGPT's JavaScript is better than your Python. The language you chose to specialize in became your biggest disadvantage. You're locked in. You're slower at everything else. Your employer wants code in Go. Sorry, you're a Python developer. You need time to ramp up. Or they hire someone who already knows Go. But ChatGPT? It switches languages instantly. No ramp-up time. No specialization required. No language lock-in. Companies realize this. A developer who knows Python well is less valuable than a developer who can use ChatGPT in any language. Your specialization is a liability. You're slower. You're less flexible. You're a Python developer, not a flexible problem solver. The job postings changed. 12 months ago. Wanted Python developer with 5 years experience. Now, wanted AI-literate developer, any language. Language expertise means nothing. What matters is, can you prompt an AI? Can you review AI code? Can you manage AI workflows? You spent 6 months learning Python syntax. ChatGPT syntax knowledge is irrelevant. Syntax changes. Languages evolve. Frameworks come and go. But the concepts? Those are universal. Loops, functions, classes, algorithms. These work the same in Python, JavaScript, Go, Rust. If you understood the concepts, you could switch languages in a week. But instead, you spent 6 months memorizing Python syntax. Language choice used to be a career decision. Learn Python and you become a data scientist. Learn JavaScript and you become a web developer. Now, language is a tool. An irrelevant tool. You use whatever language ChatGPT outputs. Whatever language your team uses. Whatever language the framework requires. The specialization you built is worthless. You're a Python developer in a world that doesn't care what language you use. A JavaScript developer? Also irrelevant. A Go specialist? Also irrelevant. Language no longer matters. What matters now? Can you think algorithmically? Can you understand system design? Can you manage AI? Can you review code quality? These are language agnostic. A great problem solver is great in Python, JavaScript, Go, or any language. You wasted 6 months specializing in something that became irrelevant in 2 years. Imagine if you'd spent those 6 months learning algorithms, system design, AI prompting, code review, architecture. You'd be infinitely more valuable now. Language agnostic. Flexible. Able to adapt to any technology. Instead, you're locked into Python. When the world moves to the next language or the next framework, you'll be slow to adapt. The programmer who learned Python as their first language and JavaScript as their second, they're in the same position as the programmer who learned neither. Because ChatGPT is equally good at both. The language you know is irrelevant. The language ChatGPT uses is irrelevant. Your first language choice was supposed to define your career. It did. It locked you in. It made you inflexible. And now it's worthless. Welcome to 2026. Language doesn't matter. You spent 6 months learning something that doesn't matter. And nobody warned you.